Yo, what's going on, Golden Gamers? Today we're bringing you a new segment with me, PPMD, and it's going to be called The Doctor's Note. Today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at Jmook versus Zain, really becoming a storied rivalry and really a roadblock for Zain this year. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some deep research. We're going to dissect the Shine set that Zain was able to win. Spoilers. And we're going to see if we can diagnose 4 key takeaways, 4 points that allowed Zain to take the dub. So, I hope you guys are interested. I put a lot of work into this, and I hope you enjoy.
All doctors to the ER.
So, let us begin point number 1. Now, the first point, I think, is something Zain himself talked about on his winner's interview, and that, of course, is his crouch cancel grab. So that's the first thing we're going to look at. I have several different clips here lined up for you guys to take you through examples of how he got his crouch cancel grab, and he usually got at least one follow-up hit off of it. Now, the useful thing about crouch cancel grab is really the most important thing is that you're finding a way to grab the opponent, because Marth's grab, while big, is not as big as his sword, and she can still stuff the grab out. But if Marth is able to get that grab, it gives him a very big punish, and it can negate Sheik's own shield and crouch cancel herself, which can be difficult for him to deal with. So finding ways to land more grabs is going to be crucial for Zain, and Sheik is much more vulnerable to crouch cancel at lower percents. So that's typically what we're going to be looking at for Zain to get these conversions. And again, I'm talking about Marth being at lower percent. So he can take a hit from Sheik, and then he can then reversal her and get a lot of damage, or maybe at least a little bit, push Sheik out of her crouch cancel range, and opens up much more options for him in neutral. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our clips here. First one is going to be from the first match. We are going to see Zain getting off the platform. Jmook tries to reversal him, and while Zain doesn't get the biggest punish, you'll notice he still does get a good position. So again, we're going to take another look at that. Zain's on the platform. This is a position that did give him a lot of trouble this set. Jmook doesn't get the biggest conversion because he wanted to get a lower aerial to follow up. Zain coming down with an aerial, edge canceling, taking away that lag, because again, low percent Sheik going to be able to reversal him otherwise. Manages to land. Jmook tries to catch him out of the air, but Zain with an expert fastfall does get his crouch cancel grab here, whereas normally he might have tried to dash away or shield and he might have gotten punished. He gets his grab. So if you notice, so right there, if you look at Jmook, nodding. All right, very, very crucial. He knows he got critical information we've diagnosed here on the doctor's note. And while Zain doesn't get the biggest punish, again, where's Jmook's escape? It's to the top platform. This is going to be an area that's good for Marth. So even if there's not always the biggest punish, it sets up, maybe Jmook doesn't go for a true punish in the future there. It doesn't go for his F tilt, and then Zain can get more stuff. I think this is good for Zain, and we are going to be looking for more value for him from there. On to our next clip. After a few seconds of darkness, here we are. We've got Zain getting off the ledge in another bad position. So again, we see Zain in a bad position. Platform before, ground now. We're also going to see that it happened a similar way, right? Zain's in shield, and it's difficult. This situation is difficult for Marth. Why? Because if you want to go this way, you want to go up and you want to try and get out, she can forward air, kind of patrol this whole area. Very difficult with her forward air. So very difficult to get out. And once you are shielding, it's tough. And this is part of why Zain is shielding. And we're looking at the 51% down here. Difficult to get out of that spot. You could go back to edge, but then Sheik just traps you even more. So it's a tough thing to do to get out. Zain plays this pretty well. He jumps to control his space. Jmook wants to make sure Zain doesn't try to push his way out. Moves back. Again, Zain gets his aerial landing hit with a tilt, and he's, at the higher percent range where he can still hold down and punish. He's aware of that. Takes the hit, gets the grab again on F tilt. One of Sheik's really good openers. That's great for hitting you out of the air, starting her other combos, but can still be punished by holding down. So again, we are going to see a grab break, which again is not the best, but Zain's able to take this situation and kind of scrap and convert it into something good for him. Again, you are going to notice that I think Zain is still getting used to getting these grabs, so you're not going to be seeing maybe the full punishes come out always, but the fact that he's getting them is going to force Jmook to play differently, is going to get Zain a better position, and as you can see, he can still lead to good situations for himself. Let's move on to our next DD grab. So again, we see Zain kind of in the corner. We do see Zain landing with an aerial. Again, we're noticing a trend here. We're in the corner. Our percent is higher, but high enough. We're poking, and we hit Jmook out of the air. Maybe we thought we could hit him out of the air, but he lands in time. Kind of a reverse of what we were looking at before. And there's going to be our down tilt again. Down tilt, similar to forward tilt, but it can be a little bit better at catching you dashing away. Comes out a little bit faster on the ground. But you can still crouch cancel it, as you can see. So this is going to be our grab. And again, Zain misses his turnaround. But it's fine, right? This situation is still better. Even with a drop punish, Marth can be really good at cornering Sheik. And this might be why Zain goes for it more when he's cornered, so he can get that reversal out of the corner, right? So this situation's really good. Sheik now not having as much room to wave dash back. The platform, Sheik not having so much room, even out of the tech, like it's just awkward for her to, you know, move this way. Platform, very awkward. It interrupts her short hop a lot. And if Zain sees a short hop, he knows she's gonna go up here, give him a little bit more time to forward air maybe, and maybe it rules out the possibility of jump more, so he can look more for another crouch cancel grab even. So this is a good situation. This is a good situation. This is nice for Zain. It's much better than what it was before, and that's kind of the beauty of Marth, is he can still get a good situation even if he drops the punish if he plays it a certain way. So next, we're gonna be looking at dash attack, Marth's dash attack. So we talked about Sheik's a little bit already and how it can be reversaled if you don't hold down. If you don't hold down and reduce knockback against Sheik's dash attack, you will be popped up. But the same can kind of be true for Marth's dash attack. If you can land it, if the opponent's in the air, or if they're not holding down, or if their percent's high enough, then you can get, you know, good reward off of it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how Zain uses dash attack and how he seemed to be using dash attack more out of situations where he kind of dropped the punish, or he had his opponent in the air but he couldn't reach with another move to extend his combo by at least one more hit past the dash attack, or to go for a little bit of an outplay on someone after, you know, getting a combo, maybe with a grab like we talked about before, maybe in some other way. But let's go into specifics here, and let's kind of look at our first example. So we do actually see Jmook starting a punish, getting off the platform, and then we see Zain coming in and with a reversal into his own grab. And then we can see he's going to get a tech chase, and he's going to get a re-grab, and he actually could have gotten more of a follow-up off of that. But you're going to notice, again, this starts with Jmook's punish, right? Zain's going to get a slide off, he's going to be out, and the situation's kind of weird because neither character is necessarily favored, but you are going to see... You're gonna see Marth in the magnifying glass, right? So he's in there. And so this is one of those things where if you're not playing on widescreen, you will see someone. It's gonna be a little hard to track them because you don't see their physical character, right? You only see the cape right here. So you're gonna see that Zain could have dashed back. He would have been cornered. Jmook intelligently kind of waits that out. Maybe he knows Zain likes to come out of the corner one way or the other. Zain goes for a crouch cancel, but notice his percent is going to be too high. He goes for an aerial into crouch, kind of like what we talked about before. And you're going to see Jmook comes in with the down tilt, but this time, instead of just crouching and being able to reversal and to grab, because Zain's percent down here is higher, Zain is going to be forced to either be knocked down or tech. And so Zain is going to tech on his hand right there. And that's going to mean that this is kind of awkward. Like, there's not a true punish really for either character, so that's why you kind of see a reset and you see everyone trying to play this. So we're seeing like really awkward situations kind of come out right here, and that's a good situation to bring in the dash attack. That's a good situation where, you know, maybe Jmook doesn't want to back up because like, I have advantage, I have the percent advantage, everything like that, right? And we're gonna back up. And then maybe even, Zain may actually be thinking about Sheik in the air, right? So Sheik has a very floaty short hop. She spends a while in the air. And this can give you time to do counters to her that you might not normally do. Normally, as Marth, there are some good things to do, like attack her out of the air directly. But if you want to have a little bit more leniency, maybe what you do is instead you attack where she's going to be, on the ground. And so that might be what, you know, Zain's looking for here as he waits. And then he goes in for a dash attack a little bit after Jmook lands, because he might even be noticing that Jmook is landing and then waiting and watching. And you actually notice this hit. If I can pause on the frame where the sword comes out, see if I can. Well, I'll just draw it. The sword's going, you know, right about here where the strong hitbox is. And Jmook, you know, was more on this end. So Zain was even prepared for Jmook to move backwards. Right? And since Sheik's wave dash isn't very long, this is actually Zain covering, you know, different amounts of things. It's very interesting, the coverage Zain's going for here. It is risky. Sheik's percent is low. If Sheik was wave dashing, she would be holding down. But I think Zain has a handle on Jmook's habits this is a bit of an outplay, but if you get it, right, Sheik is off the ground. If you're not holding down, you're off the ground. That's why holding down can be so helpful. It helps Zain get out of the punish earlier that we talked about. And now Jmook usually is, everyone talks about how great he is at holding down, but he does miss it here. Maybe Zain sniffs something out. Regardless, Zain is now able to get his grab, get his tech chase, and transition from neutral to punish. And again, up throw maybe needed, maybe Zain was a little slow, or maybe he just needed slightly more percent, but he could get his punish. He could have gone for another tech chase. Sheik being on top platform on Dreamland, being up here, not much Marth can really do as opposed to, because the platforms are so spread out. All that to say, there was a lot that happened, but the point is that Zain had a good opportunity. The point is that Zain got this grab, and then Zain got this other grab that he could have done more stuff with, but the point is all of it came from this right here, this dash attack, this call out on Jmook. So I want you guys to keep in mind that if you are a Marth player, making commitments like this is a big one. But if you can call out someone when you know that they're going to land and what their movement is afterward, that can be really valuable for you. All right, guys. Now for this clip, this is something we've alluded to in the last two. For this bullet point, this section, this is one of the biggest things that I think Zain and other Marths, or some other Marths are thinking about right now, and that's run-up grab on Sheik. Now, run-up grab is an interesting choice. We talked about it a little bit with CC grab, but at least with CC grab, your opponent is in lag. It's a free punish. Now, run-up grab is very different. Your opponent can hit you on the way in. Your opponent can dodge you, and they can dodge you by going up. They can dodge you by spot dodging, rolling. They can jump. They can wave dash back or dash back, right? There are lots of ways they can dodge your grab. So grabbing is really something that's only going to beat like someone like standing still and not being ready, or they're just holding down and waiting for you to hit them, or they're shielding. You know, Sheik likes to hold down against Marth and likes to shield against Marth, because you'll notice in some of the other clips we watched, Zain was doing a lot of forward air, and holding down and shielding can be quite effective against that. So this can be something that can change up your game plan. And again, like we were talking about before, grabbing leads to great reward. We've seen it in all these clips. Grab has either been part of the punish or part of the setup, whether it starts or whether it leads to a lot more. So getting the grab, very valuable for both characters, and finding the way in on these grabs so that you don't get punished, you don't get reversaled, and you can keep yourself safe with it. It's going to be really valuable. So let's look at some of the ways Zain gets his run-up grabs. Let's see what information we can find from that. So again, Jmook messing up a little bit on the edge here. Zain actually missing the grab and taking these needles, but you're going to notice that if you get hit by needles, even like a full stack at this range, you can still run in and grab Sheik. So this can be a bit of an encouragement to disregard her needle pressure sometimes. Now, this is a great percent to get a follow-up. We are going to get our up tilt. Jmook has some great DI, gets to the top platform and gets out. But you're going to notice Zain's going to be able to go for another play and use his advantage there. Run-up grab, again, we're kind of seeing there's a lot that Zain could be kind of covering with his first run-up grab. And while we don't see that end up panning out, we do see it still actually be effective against one of Jmook's solutions. There are other things that Jmook could have done there that Zain's first run-up grab may have countered, such as wave landing down. The run-up grab could get Jmook's lag on that. But anyway, we do see the second one being able to come out and get more damage, right? Zain's at 0. Keep that in mind. He goes to 14, but takes Jmook from 25 to 44 and a good position for himself. So that's going to be 19% versus 14%. That's a decent trade because Zain is still at a good crouch cancel range, whereas Jmook is now moving well out of that space. And Zain's going to be able to get much more off of a grab on Jmook should he get another one, or much more off of an aerial should he get one on Jmook, and he's now put Jmook in a higher spot. Let's keep in mind, if Sheik is landing, and she's landing right here, can she go back? Not until she goes back to ledge, but that's fine. But she can't really go up safely. She can't really like dash back a whole lot. If she goes up, you know she can't go up and back like she could on if she was in the center stage. So she pretty much can only go up or up and into you, or just stay in place or try to go into you, right? And so this makes it much easier to land your grab right here. So again, Zain attacking in a position where he knows he has a lot better advantage. He's minimizing his risk, trying to maximize his reward, gets his damage. And again, grab being so valuable to set up these punishes is something you absolutely want to be looking for in this matchup, and finding ways to get that, finding ways around Jmook's options there Really good stuff. We're just going to take one more look at getting that grab in that spot, and then we're going to go ahead and move on. Good outplay, get another one. A little bit of a mistake there, but again, that'll all be cleaned up, I'm sure. All right, so now you guys know about the grabs, and you know about the dash attack, and you know how they work together. But there was one more thing that I really wanted to touch on, one more secret sauce that I think Zain brought, and I think he's trying to bring more, that I've kind of alluded to throughout all of this. And that is a couple big moments that I think shifted the momentum and really secured Zain's momentum and dominance for the set. And this kind of exemplifies that Zain's trying to take different types of risks. He's trying to abuse Marth as a character in different ways instead of just, playing it safer like he has done in the past. And so I think this is a really cool, these are two really interesting examples of this, especially the first one. I think this is something that people thought about a lot, but I kind of want to just highlight these big outplays, these moments where Zain goes for a lot more of a read, but if he gets it, his reward is really good. And if he misses, it might not be too bad. So our first example is the way he gets his kill, and this match is still pretty even right now. It's not, it's still decently even. Of course, Jmook's percent is higher, but one grab on Marth could be a kill here for sure. And it can still be kind of hard for Marth to get the kill on Sheik, take a little while with edge guarding. So here we have a setup, and Zain is going to get a down air, right? And he walks for a little bit, and then he forward smashes, catches Jmook out of his jump, and takes the stock. Right? So normally, right, we saw Zain run up and grab a lot in that situation, right? And I'm sure he's already done it on this match. We've already seen him do it in the set, but this is, I believe, game one. Yes, it is game one. We see the zeros there. And this is, of course, something that can mix with your run-up grab if the Sheik wants to jump out of the corner to catch them out. So forward smash, look at forward smash. Thank you, Zain, for showing us the forward smash. Let's look at it. So forward smash is going to cover your jumps. It's going to cover you on the ground, and it can also cover you moving in. So as long as you're doing one of those, forward smash is going to be a great option. Like if you rolled, if you jumped earlier than the forward smash, so you're like up here, then of course you're going to be safe. If you spot dodge at the right time, you'd be safe, but spot dodging then means he gets a free forward smash, right? So it's risky. It can be scary. So forward smash is actually a great option versus cornered opponents, but you have to be careful about how you use it. But Zain's going to be spacing well for his tipper, which is going to send the Sheik very far away. And he's combining it with his conditioning from the run-up grab he had before to encourage the Sheik to jump. And he's just going to make him explode. And so that's well done. And now you can see 1 stock to 2. The percent is still good. It still leaves Zain open for crouch cancel, which we've talked about so many times so far. And so that's really good. That's now a big deal for him. All right, and there's one more thing we're going to look at here. And again, there is a lead, so maybe Zain is more likely to go for these when he's got a bit of a lead, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone can play differently with or without a lead. And we're going to have our grab right here. Now, normally, Zain will either do an up throw in a situation like this on Pokemon Stadium or Final Destination because Sheik doesn't have great aerial drift, as we discussed, doesn't fast fall super great. Her aerials don't protect her. And Marth is really good at covering Sheik there and can get good damage and get a kill out of it. Or Zain will do like a down throw, throw Sheik off the stage. However, there's something else to consider. And that's, if Jmook is trying to do a DI that works okay versus the up throw, or if Jmook wants to go this way from the up throw, then it could be a much easier edge guard situation for himself, right? Jmook can either go, if he gets up throw, he can go straight up, pretty much, straight up this way or this way. And now if this option happens, this is really good for Jmook because he gets a much easier edge guard, much easier recovery. He can mix up whether he wants to go to the platform or down. But the point is, there's a lot going on. Jmook is trying to make sure that he can at least go this way and be safe, or do DI that makes him okay if he gets down thrown, so he's not too far off stage, so he gets several different mix-ups on his up B recovery. That being said, Zain is going to play off of this safety, and he's going to do a different option, not down throw or up throw, but back throw. And now Jmook might be confused. Zain's going to go for a Ken combo. He holds in on the forward air because he didn't expect it. And he might have been even trying to double jump out. And this leads to a situation that's good for Zain. And so Zain even pummels for a moment. Maybe he's looking for a certain percent range. Or maybe he wants Jmook to be very comfortable with his DI. Regardless, there's our punish. She can't get a reversal aerial out in time, even though there is, even though it seems like she might be able to. We're going to go for forward air, and we're going to go for down air. Now, this, I think, was what really helped seal the deal for Zain. Now, look at this. This is 2-2, game 5, and now Zane's up by a whole stock. So that gives him just such a big lead on a stage that's good for him, and he still has access to crouch cancel and everything like that. So big outplay, extending your lead, extending your momentum, putting you in a good situation, kind of the cherry on top of everything else we're talking about. A little bit more risk, but much more reward, stock deleted. Zain bringing in a little bit more risk in some of these situations, but able to ride his lead much greater as a result. So that's everything. You got your crouch grab, your run up grab, your dash attack, and your bigger outplays. And those are the 4 keys to Zain's success against Jmook at Shine 2022.